Good afternoon, good afternoon. It's your host, Sir Colin Campbell, here with Gary A. McGowan, and you're tuned into the Not So Black and White Real Estate Podcast. We have a special guest in the studio today, the man himself, the legend of door knocking,
Oh, there
Vincent
we go.
Bongard.
And I got him on screen nice and quick this time.
It's not so black, not so
White.
but pretty red. I was going to send a doctor in to check my blood pressure or something.
Nice. Vincent, pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have both of you, in all honesty, after this last weekend. We're going to talk a lot about what you guys did this last weekend, but we're here to obviously talk about, how Vincent is bettering the people around him with the things that he's doing in his business and also the things that he's doing outside of his business, which is, we always find that's where the gold is, my friend. But pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I was very excited. I feel honored to be here. I've been listening to your podcast a lot, on my drives, on my runs. It's a real honor to be part of it.
Cool. So Colin's sending me love notes here. Yes, we are live on Facebook.
Awesome. Just making sure.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. There's so many different places where to go, but we need the little, 1 minute, if you could, backstory of who Vincent Bongard is.
Oh, wow. That's 1 minute. Well, I mean...
I grew up in southern Australia.
Yeah, I get that often. I get Australian often, I get South African often, I get Dutch often. No one ever gets to Switzerland. That's where I'm actually from when it comes to, detecting my accents. I grew up in Switzerland, 37 years old now. I came to Canada 5 years ago.
That's
married,
impressive.
have 2 beautiful boys, and I'm in real estate now. Since I came to Canada, before I came over, I had a complete different life. In Switzerland, I was working for Swiss TV, which I absolutely love. It's a dream job. So completely turned my life upside down, packed up, and we actually came over here with, there's a picture that's left on my phone somewhere. It's like 5 suitcases. That's it. So
Yeah.
we
Really?
packed everything in and whatever we could bring to the airplane, and came here and started off new, and I have no regrets. I would say you got one life to live, and why not make the most of it, right? There's so many facets in life. So now I'm here. Let's see how long.
How long? Uh-oh.
No.
You mean on the show? Or?
Well, you've been here now 5 years, so
Right.
doesn't look like you're going anywhere too soon.
No.
But what is it that allows someone? And I please, I want you to continue your story about who you are, where you're from. But you've packed up your entire life. You had a good job back home, and just decided Canada will be home going forward.
Yeah, I think it came. My wife's from Canada, right? So I met her in 2008 at the Olympics in Beijing. I was working for Swiss TV back there. She lived with me in Switzerland, and she always said, I want to go back at some point. And I said, give me a few years, give me a couple of years, just to let go of everything and be ready. Because I don't like to do things I don't like to jump into things. I'm someone who doesn't really like change, someone who really always carefully weighs out all the options. But when I do it 100%. There's no half things.
Yes.
I don't commit to a lot of things either. I maybe commit to 3-4 things in my life, but I do these things at the highest possible level. So at the point I was ready to come over and start a real estate career, and here I am now.
Okay, start a real estate career. So you met a girl, fell in love, the classic story.
Yep.
Then you got to move to her country. But real estate wasn't your background.
No. Real estate, the way it works here, doesn't even, I think, exist back in Switzerland. All my friends, I don't know anybody whose parents have sold a house or something. So people have a house and they have it for the rest of their life, and then they pass it on to the kids. So there's no turnaround like here, and it's just different. And if someone sells a house, then they probably go to their lawyer and say, I want to sell my house, sell it, or something like that. And I was never a salesperson either. I was the guy who puts a winter jacket on the Swiss version of Kijiji for $100, and the the dude picks it up, and I say, you know what, you can have it for 50.
Nice.
So left Switzerland, moved here, had no experience in real estate, and voila, you decided I'm going to be a real estate agent.
Well, I mean, I guess, of course, my wife's family, the side of my wife's family, they were all in real estate, right?
Okay.
That's for decades, and
Yeah.
that was kind of a logical step for me to follow that. I didn't want to go back into media because it's just been such a long way and it's just a hard path to get where you are. And then I just think all I would do is I would always compare it to my media job back home, which I didn't want to do. I didn't want to compare. If I pick up and start fresh, I want to do something new.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I always say, like, it doesn't really matter what you do. I mean, obviously you want to be so sorry, sometimes I forget the words because English, I always joke, I say English is my fifth language.
Mine too.
Passionate. Sometimes you want to be passionate about what you're doing, but at the end of the day, I could maybe go and sell potatoes on the side of the road. I would still be good at it because what I do, I want to do it at my very best. So it doesn't matter if I'm knocking on doors, selling potatoes, or go on a boat and be a fisherman. I want to do things right and good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay. You open the door. But let's talk about passion and drive and determination. So the both of you, and many others, but specifically both of you decided to pick up on a journey that was huge goals for both of you this weekend, and that's the Scotiabank Marathon here in Toronto.
Right.
And for you, it was your first marathon. You've run the halves before, right, Vincent?
Yeah, I've run 4 halves competitively before, and that was my first this Sunday.
First. Okay, so you've had time to reflect on it. We're going to get to that part, but I want to know what motivates people like you guys to say, hey, that's something I want to accomplish.
Well, for me, it's been on my radar since I was very young. So when I was 16, I always had this desire to do something no one else does. So when I was 16, there was a run back in Switzerland. It was a 100K run, 100 kilometers. You're not allowed to run it when you're 16. So, but you can participate and drop out at certain levels. So I dropped out at 38 kilometers or something.
Wow.
I did it again when I was 17, and when I was 18, I would have actually been able to run the whole thing. But then I injured my knees for the first time pretty badly, and ever since I've had 3 knee surgeries, like hard ones, that we're talking about, ACL, split meniscus, cartilage damage on both knees, and
That sounds painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a long way back. So especially with the cartilage damage, I was rehabbed for over a year on one knee, and then I realized, oh, the other one's gone too, and I can barely walk. You gotta go back to the surgeon, cut it open, drill holes in the bones, and go back to rehab for another year. But again, that's my last surgery was when I was 32, so about 5-6 years ago, over 31. I always wanted to do a marathon at some point, and started slowly running again, and things came back, and I just somehow knew this year just going to do it. And then Colin and I kind of started firing each other up. And I mean, it's like Colin was never a runner. I at least was a runner all my life, kind of. And Colin just started like 6 months ago and then whipped one out.
I'm inspired by you, brother.
We gotta blow the air horn here for Colin once.
So, in that, after you're running through the race, and we'll talk about your journey through the race, because I know there's, my wife is a runner, so I've got to live vicariously through her in a sense, and I know there's ups and downs throughout that journey, throughout that run. What was the wall for you? When did that hit you? Because every runner goes through that. Just
Right.
and you can see the equation here to business, right? And we'll get into that part of it. But I want to know, like, when that wall hit, when did it hit? What did you do to get through it?
I think what's interesting is how important your mind is during that run and the kind of expectation you go into a run like that. So, for example, when I trained on a training round 20 kilometers, I know I'm going 20 kilometers, and I usually hit that wall at 18 or 19. When I go 16 kilometers, I hit that wall at 14, 15. So whatever you set your mind at, you kind of also limit yourself. This time is a bit different because I've run the half marathon a few times, and I knew I'd be good for 21 kilometers. And once I passed the 21 kilometers, it was all pretty much like fresh land for me. And I hit it quite soon, 25 kilometers, and 30, I saw my family. It was kind of like hyped me up a bit. And after that, I was just suffering it through, just like trying to survive.
What about for you? Did it kind of the same experience, or?
No, because I haven't hit that wall as yet. I remember during my run, I was like, okay, I have 7 kilometers more to go, 6 kilometers more to go, but that wall wasn't there. That's why I think I need to run a full marathon to see where that wall is. Because I didn't experience this. I know most runners talk about hitting that wall where you literally have to break through. It wasn't there for me.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so obviously you completed the race,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so what brought you through that toughness?
I just did not want to give up. It was never an option. I think they would have literally had to take me out of the race. And I did, I started cramping up the last 5 kilometers, and I was about 20 meters before the finish line. I was trying to put my arms up, just change my posture, and another cramp hit, and I rolled over to the side, and the EMS showed up with their backpacks, and I was not
50
going to
meters.
give up. And
50 meters away.
Yeah, this is fascinating how your willpower just goes through all the pain and just gets you going. Once I stopped running, everything still hurts, and I still can't feel 2 toes in my left foot, and I hope it's going to come back at some point. But that's the toll I had to pay, and so be it.
Yep.
Yeah, you can really conquer a lot if your mind is willing to.
So would you say a marathon is less physical and more mental?
It's a mix. I think
Okay.
it's 50-50 maybe, or maybe I think it's still mostly physical. Like if you're not prepared,
Yes.
I just don't know how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the mental strength, then I don't know. At some point you probably would give up. It also depends. I'm by no means am I like a fantastic runner, or
Yeah.
there's people that are doing this so much better than me. But everybody runs his own race, and everybody faces his own challenge. So, it's a good experience.
That's a good point. You and I were debriefing about the race yesterday, and you mentioned that, and it took you a while to figure that part out during the race.
Absolutely. Run your own race.
Yeah,
Run
that's
your
the
own
line
race.
there, yeah.
Yes. And I reminded myself of that at least 7 times throughout the race. Run your own race. This is your race. You're not, that guy who's running, zooming past you, he can be, the next Olympic runner. You don't know. Just run your own race. This is your first race. This is the first time you're going at it. Just stick to the plan.
And I think it's a very, very great lesson for life in general. We compare ourselves so often, and sometimes that just takes us down. If you go steady at your pace, you'll always, I think, going to be your best. It doesn't matter. You ignore everything that's going on around you. It certainly helps to get tips, tricks, look up to other people. But there's no point in beating yourself up. Like if you beat yourself up every time another runner passes you, you'll never finish that race, right? If you focus on yourself only, you'll be finishing the race.
Yeah. So what are some of the lessons that you've learned from, your first marathon, that lessons that will translate into your business?
One big lesson, and that's no surprise, it's just preparation, right? You gotta be prepared.
Yes.
I've trained over 1,000 kilometers this year. And it still wasn't enough. Like I was still struggling at the end. I could have prepared even more, maybe, or maybe different. Maybe I should have gotten a coach.
Yeah.
I was very, I'm a bit resistant to coaching, which is not the greatest thing. I don't know. I always feel like I know it.
You know it all.
I'll know it all.
Okay,
yeah.
stop there.
Sure.
There. Coaching. So what happened during the race that you didn't expect to happen?
Not much. It was more like during the race I realized, okay, some people were right. I spoke to a few ones and they said, have you run a 30 to practice? I said, no, my farthest I went was 24 kilometers. He said, no, you should do a 30. Just do 130 just to practice. I think, you know what, like I've done 21, I've done 24.
5 more, it was 5
Whatever,
more.
right?
Yeah.
And now looking back, I think, okay, I should have done a 30. Although just thinking about it makes me sweat. But so if I run another marathon again, I would definitely practice more long distance. But I'm just a routine. I'm such a routine guy. Sometimes it's a blessing and sometimes it's a curse, right? I don't like change things up. I do the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, blessing and a curse.
Because you're known for in our offices, and you're known for throughout all of Keller Williams here in Canada, for someone who's so diligent at being at the doors and you're door knocking every day. Sunday was your marathon run, which it was an amazing run, and then the next day you were limping, going out in the doors, and you knock what 80 to 100 doors that day.
Yeah, it was 82 doors only, and it took me double the time than usually. But
okay, time out. Hang on. Oh, I played the wrong music. Yeah.
Only 82 doors.
82 doors only. So, which is 82 doors more than a lot of people door knock that day, right?
Yes.
So,
probably.
yeah, and I love that earlier. I don't know if you caught on, if the listeners caught on. Is you're a creature of habit.
Yeah.
You couldn't help yourself to go do the most important thing in your
I
business.
I would have felt bad if I wouldn't have done it, right?
Right.
Like I needed to do it. I was talking to Cole in the morning, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to go do 25 or 50 doors, just so I've done the action. It doesn't matter the result. It doesn't matter. It's getting the action done. And then once you're out there, you'll stretch it a bit, and you'll do a bit more than. It's almost like going to the gym. I always say to people, you know what, if you don't feel like going to the gym, just go and say, I'll do 12 biceps curls. That's all. You go in and you go out again. But once you're there, it's not as bad anymore, right? You might do this, you might do that. You end up doing a 30-minute, 45-minute workout. It's the same with the prospecting or door knocking. If I don't feel like, I still go. Like I've never missed a single day because of weather or hangover.
or marathons.
Or marathons. It's actually a great cure if you're a little bit like in the morning, if you get a hangover or something, the fresh air and everything just gets you right back on. And you say, I'm going to do 50 doors, and then you end up doing 100.
So for people who don't know who Vincent is, give us an overview of your production level. What is it you're doing, and how and why the doors are so important to you?
Okay, before you do that, little shout out. So Mark Loeffler is one of the agents that we all love and make fun of and respect. I mean, and so he was talking. You guys were talking earlier about committing to the task
Pick your
at
own
hand
race,
and run your own race, and yeah, it's the same thing as real estate. Stay in your own lane. We talk about that a lot. A little shout out to all the people watching: Christine, Luch, Lori, Jeff Ham, Michael Creasa. Michael, we'll see you on the 29th, my friend. Looking forward to that, and a bunch of others: Stevie, Darren, Mike Russo, all sorts. Do you remember the question?
No.
So how tall are you? No, that wasn't the question. Kind of validate why you're here a little bit. I can help you out with some of your numbers in GCI, but to set it up a little bit.
Well, I think the only number I actually like to brag about is the number of doors I knock. It's also the only goal. It's also the only goal I set myself at the beginning of the year, because I know doing this for like 5 years now. I know the results show up. It becomes very predictable. Still, every transaction, every deal comes from all kind of weird corners. But as long as you're putting the action out there, as long as you're prospecting, you'll get the results from somewhere. And my number It's actually my biggest number this year is I'm going to knock on 32,000 doors. And
Wow.
I should end up somewhere, I don't know,
That's huge. 32,000.
production. I don't know if you guys really know production volume or something. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to share.
Well, I mean, you can all look it up on the internet. No, I just usually get me about 20 million volume, probably. I think.
20 million in volume.
Somewhere there, hopefully.
Yeah. That's a bit. Well, like.
I mean, the past year, it's always been between, I don't know, 16 to 18 million.
Okay.
Goals to get a bit higher.
So 32,000 doors. That's your commitment.
Right.
In
That's
Canada,
fantastic.
the weather can be really bad at times. Right? We can have a lot of snowstorms. It can be extremely hot at times. Like you mentioned, there might be some times where there might be 1 or 2 hangovers. And you're still committing.
A week? Oh.
And
No.
you're still committing to 32,000 doors. Where is that discipline from? Because you mentioned before, there's just a few things that you really commit to. And when you commit to them, you go all in.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is one of them. What happened, whether it's in your upbringing or where was this discipline instilled?
Well, I don't know how Gary phrased it before, an animal of habit or something.
Creature.
Creature of habit.
I like, if you were an animal of habit, what animal would you? I'm kidding.
So, yeah, I do like routine. This is, I don't know, it's what kind of keeps me sane in the day. The same routine every day, and if things get shaken up, that might sound a bit boring, but it also helps me to get where I am. And yeah, I like a routine. So Monday to Friday, I do it every day. I'm very grateful for that as well, and that's a gratitude I think goes a long way. It's something that I didn't always have, and something that, I don't know, in the past few years just came up more and more and more. So I changed my mindset completely from I have to I can.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say, okay, I can go to work, I can go door knocking, I can go pick my kids up, I can do this, then you automatically also reflect on it and say, well, what do you mean I can go to work? Oh, there's an option that I couldn't go to work.
Yes.
There's an option I couldn't get up in the morning. There's an option I couldn't pick my kids up for whatever reason. So once you look at everything that way, it's so easy to do it. It's so easy to just like appreciate. Like I'm out there. I love seeing the seasons change. My coldest day was -38. I still enjoyed it because I was actually able to be outside and walk. There's 100,000 people I can't even walk. I could be in a coma. I could be. Again, I've had knee surgeries. I've been on crutches a combined 9 months probably if I would have all 3 surgeries. And I know what it feels like to not be able to walk, and that's just like that's not permanent, right? So all these things, if you just look at things differently, it's easy. It's not a lot of work to get this done.
Yeah. I like that. Really change the way you look at things, and just the things you look at will change. And this is a choice you're making, right? You don't have to do it. You're grateful that you can do it, and you're able to do it.
Well, think about the person that I always bring up this story when I was volunteering in a clinic, in a rehab clinic for young people that are paralyzed or like tetraplegics or paraplegics. Kids in their 20s jump off a rock or something, hit a rock, and in a wheelchair for the rest of their life. These guys are trying, kind of working on getting back into their daily routine. They spend a year at the rehab or longer, and they train to get in and out of cars. It takes them 45 minutes. We get in and out of the car every day, 15 times, right? We don't even think about how like privileged we are to do that simple stuff. So I don't know. If you kind of look at this, then all these big mountains we see, all these obstacles. At the end of the day, man, first of all, you're happy you have these obstacles because we could all be dead at this point.
Yes.
There's probably every day a moment where you could die. And that sounds a bit, let's say, morbid or...
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, no matter how bad your day seems, at least you have a day.
Yes.
So that's kind of my view on things, and gets me going, I think.
So help us understand the mindset where when something bad happens, something negative happens, something that will, suck the energy out of you. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, great question. Not that well. I really let things affect me, and in this business, and especially in real estate, there's always things that go wrong, and I'm working on that. I need to really learn how to kind of like, I don't know. I sometimes there's nights where I can't sleep because I just keep thinking about something or there's a problem, issue, and it helps me when I kind of put things into perspective and say, well, you know what, if a deal doesn't close, yeah, it's bad, but someone tonight might got diagnosed with X, Y.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, you got to put things into perspective, and yeah, and don't take yourself too seriously. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, very true. Neither you or I do. It's the most.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, Vincent, that might be one of the most honest answers we've ever had.
Yeah.
Because that's a deep question, and you were quite vulnerable. So I appreciate that. Because it would be easy to say, yeah, I go to my happy place and I, hold my kids and I sit there. But it like this business affects us.
Yeah,
right?
I wish that was my reality. I wish I could just like leave the office and go home. And I hate it how it really drags on, and it occupies my mind 24/7. And at home, I get a weekend. Sometimes I can't really let go of it. I need to work on that because it's not the way it should be. I admire people who can do that, who just can't let go for 48 hours.
Right.
But I got a bit of a control freak in myself. I want to oversee. I want to make sure everything is under control. Everything is good. Yeah, it helps in some aspects of life, and in some aspects it drives you a bit crazy too.
Mhm.
Brilliant.
There must be a healthy medium somewhere.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Should we try this?
Absolutely.
Should we do this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Our favorite segment.
All right. Let's see.
Apple juice.
That's right. Get some apple juice. Let's see if we can make this happen. Oh, hang on. I got to change the camera because we don't want to be staring at me. Here we go. Okay. Rapid fire questions. So you've seen the segment before, my friend. You better not have been rehearsing these because I've changed the questions.
I did not.
Okay, good.
I can't even remember them.
All right. And we always like to have fun with our guests. Not to say lighten it up, but to lighten it up.
To lighten it up.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, start off easy. Would you rather be texting or talking?
Texting, 100%.
All right.
It's terrible, but I hate talking.
Well, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. That's right. Favorite language to speak?
Whoa, that's a hard one. I think it's English now.
Really?
Well, because it's the language I speak. It's funny. I'm almost speaking better English than German now, I would say. Because it's just it comes so natural to me.
Really?
I like Italian too, but I'm just not as good to really.
Okay, we need to stop this. Forget about all the languages that this guy speaks.
Yeah, seriously.
like 5 languages.
I like swearing in Swiss.
Okay, yeah. Favorite language to swear in? Swiss?
Swiss. Can we swear in Swiss?
Let's have
No
it.
one's gonna say it anyway.
No.
Pura kopper, dammi sich normal.
We don't know what that means.
Pick up your own socks. Yeah. Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
No.
Love it. First, this will be interesting. First celebrity crush.
Carmen Electra.
Okay.
Oh.
I thought it might have been someone you could have made her name up and we wouldn't have known. She was on, whatever TV show back home.
Baywatch.
Yeah. Oh, you get that too. Yeah, it's everywhere. A show that travels the world. Baywatch. Favorite junk food?
Chips and
Beer. Good.
beer.
Yeah.
Fish and chip.
Fish and chips.
Does that count? That's not really junk. That's it.
Sure it is. It's all battered food.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nasty. It looks so good. Name one of the 7 dwarfs in German.
I don't know. So call it. Tall dwarf.
Nice.
He's the king of the dwarfs.
Yeah.
Lord of Dwarfs.
Would you rather Lord of the Dwarfs? Would you rather cake or pie?
Oh, cake, 100%.
All
I
right.
empty a bakery if you leave me there for half an hour.
Nice. What's your favorite? No, let's not do that one. Let's not do that one. The movie, The Godfather or Star Wars?
100% Godfather. I
Okay,
haven't
here
even
you go.
watched Star Wars.
Really? Here you
Yeah.
have it. Yeah.
No,
And
Godfather.
and would you rather climb a mountain or jump from a plane?
Done both. I would say climb a mountain. Because I'm extreme. I've never bungee jumped. I'm extreme. I have a real fear of height. But jumping out of the plane is so high up that it doesn't really matter anymore. It's like so I've done skydiving and it was very easy to do, but I could not. I couldn't jump off a 30-foot cliff, for example. So climbing a mountain.
Climbing a mountain. So there you have it. Vincent Bongard, who would rather
Go.
swear in Swiss and talk
jumping
it
off a plane.
and then jump in? That's right. That's a little fun that we like to have. Colin, what do you got for us?
I want to delve more into the mindset around, what allows someone to come to a new country, never had any experience in sales or retail, and has built a phenomenal business, right? And like you said, he's a creature of habits. He just wants to go there every day and knock as many doors down as possible. And you said that's your only goal. Well, that's your biggest goal, to knock down 32,000 doors, and the business will come.
Right.
So it sounds like that having just the faith in knocking on 32,000 doors, X amount of business will come.
Mhm.
Where does that faith come from?
I guess from past experience mostly. Yeah, I mean, again, I go back to my family. My father-in-law has done this. He proved it works. For me, it was just, and I like that's the beauty of our business. There's so many ways to be good at it. Like I admire you for what you do, right? On the phone, something I was never comfortable with. I know I got my license. I did it for 2 days, and I was ready to burn my license again and jump in a plane on a boat and go back to Europe. And then I came up. I was like, well, what else I'm gonna do? I'm new here. I have no friends. No, like again, no high school friends. Nothing. Everybody I got to know or knew was in real estate, anyways. So my only way was to go out and ask strangers, and something I was kind of scared of in the beginning because in Switzerland you would never knock on a door. It's considered very rude. But Canadians are very friendly people, and I have great interactions, and I like it. Again, I like being outside. It's great for the kneeling of my knees as well. It's 10 kilometers of walking every day, and yeah, the results started to show up after a while. I mean, it took for a long time. It took me 6 months to get my first listing.
Yeah.
But just hang in there and have faith it's going to come, and now I know it works. And obviously, at some point I might want to like try out some other avenues, but this is my base, and this is what I always think. What would be if I couldn't do it anymore? I don't think I would enjoy the business as much as I do anymore. I would probably do something else. Sell potatoes or something.
And it's funny because, once you believe in that law, like, without a shadow of a doubt, it will work because it's the same law a farmer uses.
Right.
When I plant this seed, this potato is going to grow. Like, there's no proof. I just need to plant this seed, water it, and a potato will come.
Yes, you got to stick to the process, right?
Yes.
I love this one rule, like focus on the plan, not on the problem.
Yes.
Like the problem is ultimately to get business, to meet people that have any plans that you could help with. But that shouldn't be like, if that's my prime goal when I go out, I don't meet people that can use my help every day. So I will be, but I know I can go and reach my goal of whatever doors I want to knock on, and that gives me a sense of accomplishment, and I'm a happy person.
Okay.
And down the road, it will fuel my business and helps me to do what I need to do to become successful in it.
Okay. So now, what's the best times to go out and door knock? Because most people will want to know them.
Yeah, I go out 9 till 12. 9 till 10:30 is the best time. Then after 10:30 it drops a bit.
Okay.
Then it doesn't pick up anymore until 3:30. But in 3:30 you have all the kids being home and it slows you down too. So
Okay.
if you want to do it every morning, do it 9 to 11 and 9 to 12.
Okay. And what are the open rate, the open door rate, or
Yeah, roughly 25%. Like I've now knocked on over 150,000 doors. I analyze the numbers. I'm putting in the spreadsheet every day. I think it's down. It's about 23.2%. But yeah, rule of thumb, about every fourth door someone's home.
okay? How do you feel about that knocking on that door, and there's a potential that guy or gal has worked a night shift, and now you're going to knock on that door, ring that doorbell, and disturb that person who just came in?
Yeah, obviously I don't want to like bother anybody or call something. Like a lot of people who work night shift have like a little note outside, and I respect that. I'm not going to knock on that door. Yeah, like it's the same if you call, right?
Yeah.
Difference if you call, they have a door, note at their door.
Yes.
You don't know, you still call before you wake them up. So
of course. And the only reason I ask that because so many people are afraid to door knock because of stories like that they tell themselves. And you might meet that person maybe once every 2 years if there's
Right.
no door, right? Note on that door.
right, and I mean, after so many doors, you become pretty good at reading body language as well. So it takes me a few seconds to kind of pick up. Should I just leave a card and say thank you, leave, or I think sometimes you can make a bit of a change in someone's day as well. Make a joke, give them a smile,
Yeah.
just have like a nice 30 seconds conversation and wish them a great day. And yeah, you never know what impact that has, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, not everybody appreciates it if you shut their door, and you gotta understand that like no one invites me to be there, right? So
Yeah.
when I'm there, I'm their guest. I have to act the way they would want me to act. If they want me to get a leave right away, I'll do that. If they want to chat a little bit, I'll chat a little bit.
Well, it's the whole. Yeah, you never know how you're going to affect somebody. So like something as simple as a smile can change that
Right.
person's
Yeah,
outlook for the rest of the morning or whatever it is, right? And that's the cool part about it. We have that ability. Everybody has that ability. How many times are you knocking on the same door throughout a year?
3-4 times.
Yeah, and I think people miss that, right? They knock on the door and they go back 2 years later, knock on the same door.
Right.
Like it's the relentless follow up in a sense,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is it that you're saying to people at
The
the front door?
scripts. What are you saying?
Super short.
Yeah.
I pretty much just introduce myself. Say, hey, I'm Vincent, work here with Kelvin's Realty in the neighborhood. Just curious if you got any plans to move or sell your home or any real estate needs I could help you with. And then I just pretty much read their body language. And in most of the cases, it's a no, and that's okay because most people don't plan on selling. Some people have questions about the market, and I'm happy to kind of like educate them or show them what's happening and talk about the market. It's kind of whatever they need, right? If they wanted to be kept in the loop and they want to get my newsletter, then I'm happy to take their emails and keep in touch. If they want to know what the house I've sold across the street, I'll look it up for them. If they don't want to talk, then I'll just go to the next.
Okay.
Yeah. And for those people that, you know, they engage in conversation and so forth, are you doing, just to help us, some of our listeners out here, are you doing all that work right there? Are you taking some information, going back to the office, following up? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I would, if someone says, you know what, we're thinking of moving next spring maybe, and I ask if it will be okay if I keep in touch with them. If they say yes, please do, I'll take their email address, I'll take a phone number, and yeah, I'll start just keeping in touch. I pretty much like to go at whatever pace they want to go.
Yeah.
So if I get a feeling I don't want to be called every month, then I'm not calling them every month. If it's someone that really likes to chat once a month and just like there's people that are really interested in this market and they're very knowledgeable as well, and they love it when I call and we can just chat 10-15 minutes about what's happening, how much these homes are selling. So I kind of treat every lead or every person that I have in my database very individually.
Cool.
So, like that's an interesting piece there because it's no one size fit all.
Right.
Because we're dealing with 100 people in our database. There's 100 different personalities, needs, and so on. So why treat them all the same?
Right.
Thank you for that. It's an interesting piece.
Yeah, and well, it just goes to show you, not every client is the same. If it was, we'd be buying all the same types of houses in a
Right.
sense, right? It'd be
Right.
easy for us, but it's not from that perspective. Talk to us about how you prepare for your day.
I'm not a morning person actually at all, so I'm not an early riser. I get up at 7, then get breakfast ready. I have 2 boys. The older one is 2 years old. The older one is 7. My wife and I kind of split it up. I'll take care of the 7-year-old. She takes care of the little one. Make breakfast for him. I get him going, get myself going, get out and drop him at school, and then go right to the doors. There's no.
So hang on a second. You don't go to your office first. You just
No.
go from the school right to the doors because you
Right.
know that's the time for the best response.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's very every morning. It's the same. Like, I have one shower in the morning. I need that. I could not leave the house without a shower. It's weird. I need to shower.
I need that too. I need the wake up call.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a wake up. It's
It
almost
is.
like you wash all the sleepiness off,
Yes.
and you're ready to go.
Oh yeah. No, my kids know at home. Don't talk to dad unless he's had a shower and at least a sip of coffee.
Right.
Like,
So if there was one thing I would need, I think, in the day that I could not give up on, it would be having a shower in the morning. I could do without. I started drinking coffee now. I didn't for a long time. I have a coffee in the morning now too, but I could do without that. I could do it. I need that one shower after I wake up.
right? You want a successful day. You heard it here first.
have a
Do
shower.
not leave the house without a shower, and that might be for many reasons. I'll let you read into that. Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Okay, so you go right to the doors after you get your family taken care of first, and your shower, and that to me tells me, well, you're preparing for your day, perhaps the night previous to that, the night before that. So what does that look like a little bit?
Yeah, again, it's a very simple day, right? All I got to do is drive to the last place I stopped door knocking and just pick it up again.
Wait a minute. I love how simple that is because I'm trying to set the picture for people that are trying to. They think they want a door knock, right? And they're like, "Well, I can't do this. I haven't done that, and I haven't done this. This is why."
Prepare.
Yeah, this is why I haven't started. How simple it! Just start at the next door. You stopped at door 72, go to 73. Like, what's the big deal?
My only preparation is I print out a map of kind of the neighborhood I'm in, and I highlight the streets I've done, and then next day I'll go right. Whatever's not highlighted, I keep going there. I put my door knocking cart in the little bind that I bring with me, and that's all. That's really it's simple. Like
So you're not door knocking with market stats, or are you? Do you have some, or they're just all
I
like?
have them in my head.
Yeah, of course.
I review this every day, and I
Yeah.
know the market. I have apps where I can look up a specific price for home. If I'm in a specific neighborhood, I'll punch in the house number, and I know. So I have these data available if I need it. But there's really no way to over prepare. Like we're what are we preparing for? We're preparing for the action, right? And so start with the action right away.
I love it. You know what's really
it's
cool?
so simple.
You know what's really cool about when we get to interview top producers like yourself, Vincent, and to your credit too, Colin. The excuse is, well, just start. In a sense, right? Like you don't need to worry about this or how many doors. Okay, I know there's 100 doors on this street, but there's only 25 on this street, and I need another. Like, who cares? Just go
Right.
start that action. It's all about the action, and that's throughout our last couple of seasons of the podcast. That's been the biggest thing that's probably risen to the top.
Yes.
Is the top producers just go out there and do it. There's no excuses. They just go out there and do it. I shared your story yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're like, what the heck is he talking about?
Yeah. Because he
So-
doesn't know.
Yeah. So at our brokerage, one of the cool things that I get to be a part of, actually all three of us are,
Yeah.
in a sense, is an Ignite program.
Right,
So
right.
so that's where we typically it's newer agents or agents that would like to get into a higher production. And yesterday was the kickoff event, and Wayne and I are there, one of our other facilitators. at the kickoff event, and I simply said to them, listen, succeeding in this is easy. You just got to go do it. And you should have zero excuses. And I shared your story about how you ran the marathon on Sunday, and the following day you're outdoor knocking. If he can do that,
why not, right? Why
right?
wouldn't I? Like, what's there that holds me back? Unless I have 2 broken legs and a cast, and I can't literally physically do it, why wouldn't I do it? And I got 2 great leads yesterday. I met a lady who's selling the next 2 weeks. She's already interviewed 2 agents. She's going to interview me as well. I clicked well with her. And like got me a listing there. Like, you never know where that business is coming from. But it's not coming from nowhere if you don't go out or if you don't prospect. Like, nothing's happening if you just sit around and wait.
Well, it's true. Sorry. You do know where the business is coming from.
Right.
It's in that action.
Right.
And without that action, you would have missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because what I've also noticed, and many of the top producers that we've interviewed, it's almost a common thread. As long as you're doing the action, the business might not necessarily come from that, but the business will come because the action is being done.
Mm-hmm.
So you just need to get up there and work, and who knows, some uncle or friend, cousin will call and say, hey, I have a lead for you.
Right.
But the business just comes.
Well, it's about being proactive.
Yes.
That's the thing. That's, you gotta, and again, there's many ways you can do that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That was pretty deep what you just said. Do you realize? It's a good thing we got this thing being recorded.
Oh, okay. Don't remember what I said.
I know. I can tell. That's cool.
What areas are you, sorry there.
No, it's perfect.
Pierre, what areas are you struggling with in your business that you know most agents within, the first 5 to 7 years will be struggling with? And how are you overcoming those struggles as well?
I love that you asked this question because, like, I don't want to be portrayed as this perfect super agent, right? Because I'm not, and I do struggle with a lot of things. I struggle with where do I draw the line? Like, I'm so involved in business that I sometimes feel like I'm putting too much of my life into the business, not enough for my family, for example. Mm-hmm. I find it almost harder to tell a client, I can't show you a house on Sunday, then it would be like, no, I gotta take it seriously. It's almost easier to tell my family, oh, sorry, I can't do this Sunday because I have to show a client a house, than it would be telling a client, sorry, I can't show you the house because I have, like, it's almost easier to turn your family down than a client, and I hate that. I don't like, my family should be my number one priority.
Yeah.
But it becomes such a habit that you always put your client first that you almost leave everybody else behind, and I don't want that. And I'm kind of like struggling with that, kind of really learn to say no. I have a hard time saying no.
So how are you overcoming that? Or what is the way for someone to overcome that?
I don't know. I haven't found the recipe for that yet. I think.
Yeah.
You just gotta remember yourself what really matters in your life, and just, you get this kind of tunnel vision sometimes when you're in this business, and everything evolves around it, and nothing else seems to matter anymore. It's just this client, this deal, this whatever, this offer.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, like, everything else becomes second priority.
Mm.
That's my biggest struggle, I would say. Well,
Okay.
And that's a tough balance, and I think that's one that, quite frankly, we've all been in the business less than 10 years. I think I'm just about to start my 8th, and I don't think even at year 5 or whatever, it doesn't matter when, I think you have to experience that kind of the ups and downs of it, so you kind of know where that balance is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's one of those tough journeys that I believe we all have to go through,
Of course.
to understand. No, like, this is the moment I should have been at home. I remember, and it drove me nuts. I remember I bought, I can't remember the name of the band, but they were coming through Toronto. I bought tickets months in advance, and it was all awesome. Michelle, my wife, and I were going to go down to it. And of course, clients, we had to put an offer in because there's multiple offers, and they wanted me to present, and it was the same night.
Mm.
And as much as I explained to her, and it was close friends of ours, explained to Michelle, she's like, how I did not want to go to do the offer. Michelle's like, no, go, it's okay, I'll take my friend. I'm there at the offer table. I'm like, I feel sick about this.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a stupid deal.
I know.
We're not saving lives.
Like,
We're
it's a
not.
stupid transaction. Yeah, it was like 1 point whatever million. I would have made a lot of money. But I missed out having an awesome time at the concert with my
Right.
wife.
Right.
Right?
And somebody else in the office could have helped you with that.
Oh, for sure. Right? But you said it. We got tunnel vision, right? No, it's a deal. It's a transaction. I got to
Right.
help my client, and because it's just what we do.
And
Right?
I'm the
We're
only one
supermen.
who can pull this deal together.
I'm such a bonehead. I didn't even get the deal.
Of course, you never get the deal. You never get the deal. You never get the deal.
But Vincent, I'm telling you, like, I think we got to go through those kind of slap in the face type moments in a sense. You're like, oh shoot, like now I know, and it's taught me. Now I know I can say no to whatever, so I can go hang out with my son or do whatever, right? Like it's a big piece of it. I think it's part of our journey in a sense, right?
Yeah, ultimately, because we all have to experience that for ourselves. We can be warned about it by all the pros, but we have to experience it for ourselves, and we have to experience that part where we're like, I don't ever want to live through that again, right? Instead of living, being told about it and then saying,
Yeah. Cool. So what's new for you? What are your? So we're just starting to set our goals for 2020. What's your goals for 2020?
I still gotta work on my 2019 goal, which is $32,000. I'm right now at 26. I just looked it up. 26,982.
for $27,000.
Yeah, so it's not $5,000 more. That's 2 months,
2
pretty
months.
much. That's $2,500 a month. It's about $750 maybe somewhere there a week. So I gotta, yeah. And then I don't know. Next year I'm just gonna probably do the same amount of doors again. It's another thing. I don't I don't set many goals actually. It's kind of atypical here in this tribe. Ultimately, I want to probably spend a bit more time with my family, work a bit less, just have a little bit more balanced life. Again, as I said, I don't.
What does that mean, balanced life?
Well, just every year I say, you know what, I'm going to work 3 months and I'll take a week off. Then I work 3 months, week off. I've been saying this since 2015 and I've never done it.
Yeah, how's that going? Yeah.
The only time I take off is 2 weeks in the summer and then 2 weeks around Christmas and New Year's. And I always burn out. Like come July, I'm completely burned out. Then I know I should have taken some time off, maybe a week in May or something. And saying now it's like end of October and I'm just toasted right now. I feel like, I should have taken a week off. Maybe now I should take a week off. It would be perfect timing. So that's a bit of a more work-life balance again.
Okay.
It doesn't help that I love what I do so much, right? It never feels like, oh, I gotta go to work. I love it. Like every day, I love it.
Right.
It doesn't even feel like working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we've done the exercise in the past where we're planning for the next year, and our mentor, Marvin Alexander, he will say, forget the amount of work you want to do. First, start with your family and your vacations. Book that time off first.
Absolutely, 100%.
Everything else left is work time.
Work time.
Yeah.
That's the way to look at it. Like, that's actually a really great way to look at it.
And if you don't do it, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, you got to put in your family and vacation time first, because then it's there.
Yeah.
It's probably best to book the flights just right away and just pull a destination out of the hat. And if you don't know where to go, just do it.
Just do it. We get the globe and we spin it
Yeah,
and we
spin
go,
the
right?
globe.
Say stop. Azerbaijan.
Yeah. You ever been there?
Oh, I hope I didn't insult anybody. It's nice.
I'm sure it's nice. Yeah.
Now, how can we help you in your business?
Well, I mean, you guys are great. This company is fantastic. So much help always offered, and even if there's nothing specific I could ask for, I know if I had to, I know there's people I could lean on. That's all actually. So.
Okay. So we're almost at the end of the year, 2 more months. Your major goal is to hit another 5,000 more doors.
And now it's public, so I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
That was actually.
That's right.
It's
So
almost like when you called me and said you're going to come on the podcast on the 22nd, and I said that's 2 days after the marathon, and you said, oh, that's great, you can talk about the marathon. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to finish that thing because I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody how I gave up at kilometer 27.
Yeah, you should have seen me on kilometer 26. I was killing it.
I was rolling. I wanted to roll for the next.
I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about that. I
Yeah,
said, okay, I'd love to talk about it. It's been a great experience. But I'm not going to talk about it how I failed or didn't finish it. Like,
Yeah.
I want to talk about it how I did it. So, yeah.
no, that's awesome. And I don't think we celebrate the right or the correct successes all the time. Like we celebrate as realtors, and I see it all the time. Hey, I did another closing. Ooh, good for me. I'm so happy for my clients. Whatever, we can do that all day, right? But
Right.
it's stuff like this, like the marathon that's pushing your body to new limits. Then door knocking the following next day, like that's a success.
Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
look at it,
Yeah,
you know, because
that's right.
you didn't miss a beat. You went out and generated a lead, and now you're doing a listing presentation where many people would have still been stuck on I finished the marathon.
Yeah. Or
They still would have been celebrating that.
Yeah, I think one big thing for me is I always look how can I still do something rather than looking what's the reason for me not to do it. And it's always been like this. I mean, I haven't shared this often because I was high. I'm like type 1 diabetic since I'm 9 years old, so almost 30 years in, right? I never really told people, like, through my whole high school, I was hiding it some infectious disease. Because I don't know, for me it's a weakness, now I look at it as a strength.
Yeah.
Like I've done so many things. I run a marathon. I've been running all my life. I've been a licensed boxer for many years in Switzerland too. Like I went to the ring and had fights. Everything, despite having that kind of disease that might not be the easiest to handle, like running 4.5 hours a marathon when you know you gotta keep your blood sugar level at such a specific, like, you can't mess up with that because if it drops, you're dropping as well. You're out. You're not dead, but you're down.
Yeah.
You might be in a coma if you're careful. But so yeah, I always looked at ways. How can I do this despite whatever? Despite my legs hurting, despite not being from here, despite whatever. How can I still do it? Whereas some other people might look, well, what would be a reason for me not to do it today?
Yeah.
I think it's just a given. I'm just lucky that I feel like that. I don't know.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Before we wrap up, you've been training for this marathon now pretty much all year. You've ran over 1,000 kilometers so that you can run 42 kilometers.
I know, it seems like so little.
In the grand scheme of things. Now, in preparation for the marathon, what is that lesson that you learned about you, Vincent, that you didn't know before?
It definitely gives you a lot. Like when you train that much, I just looked it up on my app. It came to almost 5 days of pure running in 2019. So that's over 100 hours or 120 hours just running. That's a lot of time to think about life, about yourself, and probably that's the reason why I love it so much. What's the lesson I got from it? Ultimately, I think just being grateful. Grateful for the life we live, for what we have. I read this one quote, I think it's from my friend Gary Vaynerchuk. He said, "You're alive and free. Take advantage of it."
Yeah.
And that's true. These two things, freedom and the fact that we're alive,
Yes.
we take this as a given, but it's not a given, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
There are people that are not free and there are people that are not alive anymore.
Yeah.
We have both. Let's make the best out of it.
Well, I will end on that note.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Vincent, it's always a pleasure to hang with you, but today was extra special because
Thank you so much.
dive into what motivates you, what drives you, and I know that this our listeners and the viewers are going to watch this and take so much away. For me, it's just the simplicity of your daily plan. You've got a target to hit.
Yeah.
You've got to hit it, because that's where the transactions are, which ultimately funds and fuels your life, right? Of the things that you want to do. So good for you. Happy to, I'm honored to have you in my realm, and thank you for that.
Thanks.
Good. So that wraps up our podcast. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, and we'll have some really cool upcoming things. The next big thing that we're doing is the Real Estate Growth Summit, where we'll be doing some live podcasts at the event. So we'll have our studio, our makeshift studio. We'll be there, and looking forward to seeing everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.
Bye for now, guys. We're done.